Hello, my name is Tina. I'm from the National Apprenticeship Service and I'm here today to talk about apprenticeships. So we're going to be looking at the different types of apprenticeship, the range of employers that offer apprenticeships, the different levels and how you can start searching and applying for apprenticeships. So what are apprenticeships? Well, apprenticeships are real jobs. You will work for an employer. You're given a contract of employment and you're treated like any other employee. You'll work for a minimum of 30 hours a week. However, lots of jobs are typically 37 to 40 hours a week. And as part of your apprenticeship, you will study for a job related qualification. So 20% of your apprenticeship is off the job training, and that's the responsibility of a training provider. And 80% of your apprenticeship is your on-the-job training, and you'll be supported to develop the skills you need by your employer. Your apprenticeship will last between 1 and 4 years. Some apprenticeships can last for as long as 6 years, but typically between 1 and 4 years. And because it's a real job, you are given a wage, and we'll talk a little bit more about wages a bit later on. So there are some misconceptions about apprenticeships. Some people think that they're only for those people who are not academic, for those people who are not interested in higher education. And that isn't the case. There are apprenticeship levels for everybody, right up to degree level. Another misconception is that apprenticeship salaries are always really low, and that isn't the case. The minimum wage for an apprenticeship is £4.15 an hour, but there are many employers, particularly in London, who pay more than that, and in some cases pay much more than that. And I'll give you some examples a bit later on. And another misconception is that people say at the end of the apprenticeship, the employer will let you go. And that isn't the case. 90% of apprentices remain in employment at the end of their apprenticeship. When we start to talk about apprenticeships, people often think of the construction industry, trades like plumbing, carpentry, electrical installation. And whilst there are some brilliant opportunities in those industries, there is such a vast range of other opportunities that you can now pursue through the apprenticeship route. So this slide just gives you an example of some of those. So accountancy, cyber security, it's a really fast growing industry. And there are lots of opportunities in IT through the apprenticeship route. Legal services, so you can become a paralegal executive, and you can even go as far as being a solicitor through the apprenticeship route. Nursing, project management, journalism, and many, many more exciting job roles that you can now pursue through this route. The range of employers that offer apprenticeships is amazing. This slide shows you some examples of the larger well-known employers. I'm sure most of you will recognise at least some of these companies. 50% of apprenticeships are offered by these larger well-known companies, and the other half are offered by small and medium-sized employers. And it can be tempting to think that the best apprenticeships are offered by these larger companies, where in fact some smaller employers can offer brilliant career progression for their apprentices. So it's really important that you do your research. It's important when you're looking for apprenticeships that you look inside companies. So don't just go for the obvious. So if you're looking for a finance role, for example, it's right that you'll look at the large high street banks and the large accountancy firms in the City of London. But also it's really important to look inside other large organisations because they may have opportunities within their company in finance or, for example, in human resources or in marketing. So, for example, Marks and Spencer's is a huge company. We wouldn't necessarily associate them with finance, but they will have a finance department within their organisation. So again, it's just when you're looking for opportunities, just keep an open mind and broaden your search. There are 4 different levels of apprenticeship. Level 2, which is intermediate, level 3, which is advanced, level 4 to 7, which is higher, and level 6 to 7, which is degree apprenticeship level. Now, employers will generally ask for academic qualifications as part of the recruitment for their apprenticeships. And often you will see for a level 2 intermediate apprenticeship, an employer might ask for a maths and English qualification, either at GCSE or functional skills. For advanced level apprenticeships, an employer can ask for GCSEs. For higher apprenticeships, level 4 to 7, employers will typically ask for level 3 qualifications, so A levels or a BTEC, and equally for degree apprenticeships, employers tend to ask for A levels or vocational qualifications at level 3. I talked earlier about 20% of the apprenticeship being off-the-job training, the part of the apprenticeship where you study for your job-related qualification. And this can be delivered in different ways. So some larger employers might bring a trainer into your place of work. It might be more traditional learning, like classroom learning, where you go to a college or a university, or you might attend a training provider's premises, or it might be some online learning. And a combination of online learning or classroom learning. And the way it's delivered can depend entirely on the employer, and it can change throughout the duration of the apprenticeship. So for example, it could be that you do 4 days at work and 1 day at college or university, or it can be blocks of learning. So you could do 4 weeks of work and then you could do a week of classroom learning or some online learning. It really does depend on the employer, and as I said, it can change throughout the apprenticeship. So I talked a little bit about degree apprenticeships earlier. So what's the difference between a degree apprenticeship and a traditional degree? Well, one of the differences is that they can take that bit longer, often between 4 and 6 years. And this is because you're working full-time while studying part-time. One of the real benefits of doing a degree apprenticeship is that you don't pay any student fees. So the government pays all your student fees. So you have no debt at the end of your apprenticeship. You're also paid a wage whilst you work and study. And at the end of your apprenticeship, you've gained 3 to 4 years of industry-related experience. So they are a really brilliant opportunity and a brilliant way of studying for higher education. There is also a scheme called a traineeship, and these are training schemes which have been developed for 16 to 24-year-olds to help prepare them for either an apprenticeship, further training, or employment in the future. These are split into 3 parts, so part of it's English and math if it's required, employability skills, and work experience with a local employer. Are there any jobs? Well, I put in the school postcode into the government Find an Apprenticeship platform just to give you an idea of the number of vacancies that are out there. And within 5 miles of the school, there are 262 vacancies. Within 10 miles, 608 vacancies. 15 miles, over 800 vacancies. And within 20 miles, over 1,000 vacancies. So this is just an indication of the number of jobs that are currently available, but also to show you that the further you're prepared to travel, the more opportunities that will be available to you. And this is all different levels of apprenticeship. So I didn't specify, I didn't indicate any particular level. This is all levels from level 2 up to level 6. This slide is an example of some real jobs that are currently shown on the Government Find an Apprenticeship platform. And I just wanted to give you an example of the types of roles that you might see if you start searching on that platform. So the first one is a data center IT engineer. It's an advanced level 3. The employer's requesting 5 GCSE qualifications as part of the recruitment for the apprenticeship, and the annual salary is £12,000. So as you can see, that's a lot more than the minimum wage of £4.15 an hour. The one underneath that is a cybersecurity technologist, and this is a higher level qualification. So it's a HNC higher level apprenticeship, and the grades required, it doesn't specify, it just says a level 3 qualification. So sometimes employers can be very specific and other times not, as in this case. And the annual salary is £21,000. So this is just to give you an example of the types of roles that you might see. It's really important also that when you're looking at jobs, you may not be familiar with the titles. And in many cases, they don't mean anything to anybody unless you're doing that job. So it's really important to just have a look get an idea of what the job entails, look at the job description, because you might find it's something that you could be really interested in. So don't put the job title, don't let the job title put you off. One really important thing I need to say is about closing dates. Every job opportunity, apprenticeship opportunity, will have a closing date, but these are not fixed. If an employer is inundated with applications, they will close the job early. So it's really important, if you're searching for opportunities and you find an apprenticeship that you're really interested in, that you apply as soon as possible. Don't leave it, because you might miss out if you do. How do you find apprenticeships? Well, because there isn't just one place to look for apprenticeships, you have to look in lots of different places, and it can feel a little bit daunting. So a really good place to start your search is through the Government Finds an Apprenticeship platform on the .gov.uk site. It's a really straightforward, simple site to use. You can create an account, you can set up alerts, which means you won't miss out on any opportunities as they come in, and hundreds of employers use it to advertise their vacancies. Now, because of COVID, there has been a reduction in the number of opportunities available, but we are starting to see signs of recovery, which is really encouraging. So if you don't find anything immediately, please don't be disheartened, keep looking. And remember, the Find an Apprenticeship platform only shows live jobs. It won't show you jobs that are coming up in the future, and it won't show you jobs that have already been filled. It will only show you live jobs. Because there isn't just one place to look for opportunities, you need to broaden your search. So company websites are a really good place to look. So if you have an employer in mind that you're interested in working for, then you can go onto the company website, register for recruitment alerts or newsletters. Equally, social media, employers are using social media as a tool to recruit. So again, following companies, organisations that you're interested in is a really good way to keep in the loop. And if opportunities are being offered, you'll be amongst the first to know. The vacancy snapshot on the Amazing Apprenticeship website is a really helpful tool. It talks in more detail about these larger employers and gives you an insight into their recruitment processes. Also, there are case studies on there from real apprentices, and you are sometimes given an indication of when the opportunities will be made available. So that's a really useful place to look. And then through friends and family. So if you know somebody who works in an industry or works for a company or organisation that you're interested in working for, then let them know, because if an opportunity comes up in their place of work, then they can share that with you. Lots of apprentices tell us they found their apprenticeship through word of mouth. Should you have any questions, you can contact us using these contact details. So we're on social media, or there's a contact number, or you can go onto the .gov.uk site. There are also lots of other places where you can get support through the National Career Service, for example. They're able to answer your questions as well about apprenticeships. If you're interested in finding out more about apprenticeships, there are some brilliant resources available on the Amazing Apprenticeship website. That's about it from me. I hope you found that helpful. Thank you very much for listening today. Thanks. Bye-bye.